Yesterday's record-breaking high temps are ancient history. Today, of course, we only made into the upper 30s today, and more clouds than I originally anticipated. Now I'm tracking some snow. In fact, many towns will pick up several inches of snowfall accumulation on Wednesday. Let's start off tonight's weather extra by taking a look back at our Augusta Skycam time-lapse. Again, more clouds than I did anticipate today, but overall it wasn't a bad day, right? High temps made it to 38 degrees here in Portland. In Augusta, you made it into the 30s as well. Now we're going to focus our attention on our next weather maker approaching from the south. Is an area of low pressure that looks like it's going to come close enough to bring us accumulating snow on Wednesday. Here's the weather setup. There is a stalled front to our south. This is going to act as a focus for an area of low pressure to track along it. Now, the big story all along, at least for the last week or so, has been how close is this area of low pressure going to come? Is it going to come close enough to bring us some snow? Is it going to be too far offshore? Well, it looks like it comes close enough to bring at least probably 2 to 5 inches of snow for most towns. I expect Portland probably, 3, maybe 4 inches of snow out of this one. That's my early thought on how it's going to play out for Wednesday. Snow trackers certainly picking up on that snow, moving into portions of Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and into parts of Maine here. It's not a blockbuster of a storm, but it will freshen up the snowpack here, and many towns will get some slippery travel moving in time for your morning commute. This storm has been causing problems all the way down to the south. This is actually the scene in Arkansas this morning, where they had a little bit of snow and ice down there. It's more of an ice storm as you head back into portions of Tennessee. In fact, Memphis is getting a pretty good ice storm out of this one. As this burst of precip here arrives in northern New England, temps do look cold enough to support snow for the entire region. So, Storm Tracker, let's go through the timing of this now. We'll start off tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock. I think the snow moves in during the pre-dawn hours, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's where we're seeing our first flakes. Temps will be running the 20s, so we're certainly cold enough to support snow. Light snow will continue through the entire day, 2:30 in the afternoon. Temps are marginal at the immediate coast. I think it's mostly snow, but I have to at least entertain the idea of a little bit of mix and change to rain for the immediate coast anyway, and some of those peninsulas and islands. So that's something we need to monitor, but I think, again, it is mostly snow for even coastal locations. Any leftover light snow will wind down during the evening tomorrow. By Thursday, we're seeing some sun return. We're starting off in the 20s. The only problem with Thursday, we have an Arctic cold front that's going to move through. We'll see a round of clouds with a slight chance for a snow shower or snow squall, and we will notice the difference, certainly in temperatures, as we head into Friday. Temps struggle to get to the mid-20s late in the work week. Now, I want to show you a few things that go into making a snowfall forecast. These are some of the forecast models, and these are the liquid equivalent amounts. Basically, if you were to take the snowfall and melt it down, this is how much we would get here. The areas in the darker shade of blue, that's where we're seeing about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch of liquid. Now, using a 10-to-1 ratio, that would be about 2.5 inches to 5 inches. So we're right in here, and I think it's probably a 9-to-1 or a 10-to-1 ratio, especially on coastal areas, because the temperatures will be right around the freezing mark, if not slightly above. And those lighter amounts as you head off to the north. So, therefore, I think we do see probably 3 to 5 inches of snow, some areas 2 to 5 inches of snow out of this one. This is run off the North American model. Notice that half-inch contour moves up into southern York County as well. So if this were to verify, there would be a few spots, probably around 5 or even 6 inches of snow over southern zones. So that's something we need to monitor. This is actually the European model. Looks very similar, right? That half-inch line is a little further off to the south, but most areas in that quarter of an inch to a half an inch of liquid, being about 2.5 to 5 inches of snow out of this one. Lighter amounts as you head back in the mountains. This one is the Canadian model, very similar as well. Amazing agreement, right? Isn't it nice when it works out that way? Well, hopefully it works out, right? 2 to 5 inches of snow in that darker shade of blue. Again, these are just computer models here. Lighter amounts as you head back in the mountains. Now, compare that to the GFS, which has been the outlier during this entire event here as far as the forecasting goes. It brings in a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch along coastal areas. If that were to verify, we would see probably around 5 to as much as 7 or even 8 inches of snow. Again, this has been the outlier, but it's been very consistent, and it's certainly worth watching. The GFS has also been quite a bit warmer as well, mixing the coastline with some sleet and eventually some rain late in the event. So we need to monitor that as well. I think most areas, Portland, the magic number is probably 3 or 4. That's my best estimate of how it's going to play out. So I'm going to keep most of this area in 2 to 5 with a good chunk of the area probably in the upper end of that, 3 or 4 inches here. There could be a few isolated spots over interior sections near 5. But that winter weather advisory is in effect for Cumberland County, York County, Stratford County, and also down in Rockingham County right in here. That goes into effect tomorrow morning and will continue until tomorrow evening. So that's the way things look as far as this next storm goes. It's going to be not a blockbuster, but again, enough to make for some slippery travel and freshen up the snowpack a little bit. Thursday, that arc front moves through. Temps on Friday, we start in the single numbers, afternoon highs in the mid-20s. Temps will modify over the weekend. Chance for a rain or snow shower on Sunday. That with a second Arctic front that moves through. Look at the temps on Monday. I think our next chance for any significant snow after that should probably be Tuesday. There's still a few question marks with that one as well. There's your inland forecast, not much of a change. I'm recording this here around 5 o'clock. We're getting ready for News 13 live at 5. I'll have updates on News 13 live at 5, 5:30, News 13 at 6 as well, and another update tonight at 11. Hope everyone has a nice night.